pharmaceuticals, and it's really interesting. And he says, they're not withholding the cure for cancer. And most of the people working in the industry are decent people. They're scientists. They're trying to stop diseases and make people's lives better, make it so people don't have to live in pain.
He hasn't realized,
and then not get addicted to the thing.
He invited me, but didn't send me the link to join,
preventing them from living in pain. But the people at the top aren't driven by the same goals and ethics of the people actually on the ground making the medicine. And this means that a lot of money spent on doing things to generic medicine to keep it under patent. Adding go faster stripes to vitamin inhalers, etc. I know that might sound ridiculous, but it's not far from what they've actually done in the past. And then you've also got the fact that because there's so much money to be made by
a little under the weather,
slightly alleviating ailments of everyday common illnesses, viruses.
You can hear me spamming the politics social
so much money to be made
that I never got my link.
That research into tropical diseases, for instance, is neglected. And I guarantee, if dengue fever was a thing that kept cropping up all over Britain, we would have found a cure for it. Same with malaria, same with Japanese encephalitis, same with anything. We'll be doing a lot more to combat mosquito-borne viruses than we are at the moment. Zika, elephantitis, yellow fever.
Scott and Jan and MH and Russell. Hey y'all. Billy.
There's so many things you get from mosquitoes. They're really, really horrible little fishes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you, Des. I see it.
I don't think any research goes into this stuff because they say, oh, well, the only countries that have to deal with them are kind of poor countries.
Because the thing is, he kind of like gets on a tangent and then like starts to riff, and then he just doesn't look back.
Maybe this will encourage pharmaceutical companies in America to say, well, we're not going to make any more money out of making paracetamol out of those kind of aspirin. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to invest in trying to sort people who live in India. 1.4 billion people.
There we go.
We might want some help.
We did it. Thanks, guys.
Let's have some research into that.
I know you guys helped me.
Mikey needs a link. Mikey does propaganda. Being healthy should be a patriotic duty, and too many refs to disable drain on resources. Yeah.
There we go.
He's RFK is a eugenicist. He's an absolute fucking nightmare. Oh, yeah. And the idea that he's like the guy that we need to be speaking to about health when he's like clearly the most unhealthy man who's ever lived. I mean, he sounds like Weekend at Bernie's. He sounds like Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. If they could get him to speak for a little bit to show that he's not dead, when he actually is. Mikey, hello, Mikey Famine. How you doing?
Hi.
For the Bin Podcast Network. How you doing?
Hi. Thanks for the link.
Sorry, I thought I sent it.
I'm like,
you sitting there waiting for the link?
Yeah. I'm like, come. I was like, I was watching a video already, and I was like, refresh the YouTube page. I just saw you were live already. I was like, Dick, I'm right here.
Sorry. No, because I looked, and I thought I'd already sent it, right? Yeah. And it was from last week.
You got
the link from last week,
or you got to hit enter or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but Joanna says,
did you bring your gold, frankincense, and myrrh for the newborn Christ?
Yes.
Good.
I come bearing gifts.
That's what you got to do now. That's how it works.
I've come bearing the gifts of the gab.
So I was wondering if you were okay with Trump joining hummus.
Oh, hang on, we can't hear you. There you go. Sorry, I had you on mute as well. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Goodness.
I'm sorry, I've been working in the garden all day, and I think I got sunstroke. I'm half awake, mate. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Tony. Hi, Mikey. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome me. The gold, frankincense, myrrh joke. What else did you guys miss? Nothing else. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, Mikey was asking me if I came bearing gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
And I'm a little sicky, so.
Oh God, this is gonna be a disaster.
So we are going to claw through this no matter what. I took a shower just so that I could get some steam into my respiratory system so I could do the show, because my whole upper respiratory is like razor blades. Everything is razor blades. The air, my snot, everything is razor blades. Tea is razor blades.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been.
My girls got sick and they gave it to me.
I've been working on decking. We've been moving old rotten boards and burning them and replacing them with nice shiny new boards. Well, not shiny, but you know what I mean. One day without fog or rain, and that's your excuse. Yes, Job. I'm using the one day that it's not actually pissing down with rain or freezing cold here in Durham to actually get some work done outside. So yeah. Also concerned that Russia is amassing troops along the Finnish border. Bloody hell! I didn't hear about that. That's a little bit worrying. I hear Finland want to get landmines. They're saying, "Can we get landmines again?" Because the Russians have got landmines, and these other countries that don't have landmines. So, Mikey, we were talking about Trump.
Who?
We sort of moved on from the jet plane bullshit, and we were talking about this declaration that he's going to bring down pharmaceuticals, medicines in price. Do you think he'll actually do this, or do you think it's just a cynical ploy so people go, "Oh, we put down pharmaceuticals"?
I mean, you don't have any right to purchase from the manufacturer. What does that have to do? Like, it sounds great. That does not mean that savings gets passed on to the consumer. There's nothing in there to make sure that the price comes down for the customer. It just says that they'll lower okay, but you're not Walgreens. You're not CVS. You're not Rite Aid. You're not a chemist. You don't set the price. You know what I mean? Their corporate sets that price. So will they get cheaper medicine to sell to you at inflated prices? Probably.
I goes where I goes.
You know what I mean? Like that, again, just like he was saying, like all this stuff, and we're going to save this money and the deficit's going to go down. None of this is promised to the citizen. These are just empty, vague, intentionally vague platitudes. Ori, thanks for subscribing. Real quick on the plane thing before you go. Article 1, Section 9, Chapter 8.3, or Clause 8.3. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state.
Yes.
I think they want to put it in the library. Okay. I mean, just keep the tab open.
8.3, you say? That sounds like a decimal. Are you using the decimal system in your constitution here, Mikey? What are you not telling us?
No, look, it's right there available for everyone to read, but interpretation will cost you.
So, but does Trump have to maintain the Constitution? He was asked that this week, and he said maybe.
I love every time he violates the Constitution. I want it to be on the record that the Republicans did nothing, that the Democrats did nothing, so that whatever happens, and the everything kicks off. This is why, like, you know what I mean? So in 6 months' time, when everything's a fucking war zone, and how did it get like this? This is why he's violating the Constitution. That's why. Yeah. And every senator and every House person for not number one, invoking the 25th Amendment, and if not bringing forth articles of impeachment based on his behavior. He's doing it right in your face, and you're not doing anything, which is why if and when we get midterms, y'all got to go. All of you who didn't impeach him can go. Go home. Yeah. Go home and count your millions.
Yep. So to go back to the medicine thing for a moment, here's something interesting. So after the CEO of United Healthcare got Luigi'd, allegedly, in December, United Healthcare went, "Oh shit, maybe we should stop upsetting people to the point of murderous rage." And they started to allow more claims to be given the thumbs up. They're now getting sued by their own shareholders for not screwing over the people enough. The profits are down, the share value is down because they're actually giving people the money for their medical operations or for their medicine that they need, that they're supposed to be insured for, that up till what happened, they were saying no to like 90% of cases. They were just saying flat out no, and people had to appeal, and by the time they've appealed, they died.
For cash.
But that's apparently good for business.
It's for just for cash, for no other reason than I just want more money, and
they're being sued by the shareholders.
You promised me this much money. I am not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna make it. So yeah, you can't do.
Or just like Tesla suing.
They did,
him.
or they were about to. It's because like
okay.
And it's like we didn't know you were gonna be a freaking moron with all of our money.
Where's he gone?
Maybe he has the measles.
Oh.
Maybe he's caring for his sick child.
He won't have measles. He's been vaccinated up the kazoo. Ree W says 49 Afrikaners have chartered a flight to the US. More Elons, from South Africa. Refugees from South Africa. Refugees, you can't be racist anymore, so they're going to come to America where they can be racist.
I've been telling you all that. And didn't everybody's like, oh, they just get so, or conversely, was right the whole time, and now it's time for that come to Jesus moment. That looking into Galadriel's water mirror thing. Like you got to have that moment. Like this is where we are. This is the times we're in. It's not going back to what you thought it was. It's not. So the only thing we can do now is guide and try to direct whatever the hell this is, because the old world is gone. It's gone. He ruined it.
Yeah. These troops have been massing on the border between Russia and Finland now for 2 weeks. The first report of it is from 2 weeks ago on the Kyiv Independent, which seems to be 2 weeks ahead of everyone else. Oh no, actually. Yeah, it is. I was going to say Reuters had it 4 weeks ago, but that was a story about the border being closed, not about the Russians massing on the border. Yovian, thank you very much. Mikey for president.
I'll run.
Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend.
I'll be old enough.
Are you old enough?
I will be.
You will be. You will be in 2029.
8, yeah.
Need to get in there, man.
I mean, whatever I got in my past is nowhere near as bad as sleeping with a porn star when my wife was at home after giving birth to my kid.
Yeah, but you're black, so you won't get away with it.
That's a perk for some people.
Yes, it is. But if you were white and you were a billionaire, you could get away with that because you don't need to have morality or any iota of decency whatsoever.
But that could hurt you with the young whites, I hear. Like having empathy for other people is poor politicking if you want to appeal to people on the right wing nowadays.
Well, I heard that. I heard Elon saying that the worst thing in the world was empathy.
And then he started almost melting down because a couple of his little ugly ass cars, his little electric dustpans got set on fire, and he was like, why would they put up a chart? Tim Walz is a big jerk, and he put up a chart with my stock price, and it was going down, and everyone laughed at me.
He's a big jerk.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like cutting all the USAID money. Like, this is what happens with bullies. It's all fun and games until they get popped in the mouth, and they're like, I don't think hitting is the right way we should solve our problems. It's like, I didn't think so.
I don't think he was a bully in school. He was a bully's familiar. He was the one who followed the bully.
The henchman.
Yeah, and went, go, hit him harder, Jenkins, hit him harder. Just that kind of horrible little twat.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah. Yes.
That's who he is.
Jabba's palace.
And who's Jabba? We all know this.
Well, Trump, isn't he? Jabba the fuck.
Vivek Ramaswamy. No.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
I just wanted to
Oh
get
my
him in.
God! Have you seen
Imagine
the
if
video of him off his tits on cocaine in the hearing? Have you seen this?
No.
So the person next to him's talking, some committee room thing in Congress.
We'll watch it tomorrow.
And the person next door to him's talking, or sitting next to him's talking, and he's like moving his pen around on the pad, and then he can't decide where he wants it to be, and then he's like he's looking really furtive and looking around like this, and his eyes are darting around, and they've zoomed in on him, so you're not looking at the person who's speaking, you're looking at what he's doing, and it's Christ Almighty. Anyway, not great. Can we talk about the trade deal? The US
with
China climb down deal.
Look, China is used to telling their people to shut the fuck up. You're not getting it. It costs this much now. Actually, that's our company. Yep. And the Chinese are not nearly as armed as Americans are. So I don't know what his plan was. It's like, look, I'm about to make y'all motherfuckers broke, and y'all gonna pay this money. You understand? And everybody looked at him like, if you don't get on the phone with China right,
yes, sir, right away, sir. I'll call it right now.
Yeah, you better get on the fucking phone right now. Like, this is bye. Like this. Keep it up, dude. Just keep it up, because you are just making it easier and easier for that one rogue Republican to put that first little impeachment in there. Because those are coming too. Because it's not going to be like one or two like last time. It's going to be a dozen of them. It's going to happen a lot. Where people are going to splinter off because he shut down the entire sector in their state, which is what got them elected. You know what I mean? There's going to be some self-preservation there. So the more he fucks around with trade, which hurts a lot of states, a lot of red states, I mean, hey, I hope everyone is learning the lesson in real time. And we don't have to like, oh, well, let's just give him one more term. We're like, no, can you? I hope this is clear enough evidence that this is not the direction that all of us want to go.
So the tariffs on American products going into China have been reduced to 10%, and the tariffs coming into America have been reduced from 145% to 30%. But it's only for 90 days, and then they're going to reassess. Trump's team is selling this as a win, but can you just explain to me how you've benefited as an American from all this?
Hold on, there's got to be something in there. Nope, there's nothing. This isn't like, you didn't have to do any of this.
Have you not got a factory? Are you not working now in a factory?
I was just waiting for my Patriot check to come in from all this tariff money that we're making China pay.
Yes,
like that's
that wall that you got Mexico to pay for.
Like, there are people who think that they're gonna be getting like fat ass checks from like the money Doge saved and like extra money from tariffs. I'm just like, you're not on Earth. Like, you're just like you have fallen for it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's the thing about desperation. You know what I mean? And people have these like they will believe the snake oil salesman eventually. You know what I mean? Like, he can't like, but if I order now, I get two of them, and I could really like. They just can't help themselves. You grow up in a capitalist wasteland, this capitalist casino / prison, and everything tells you that you're allowed to listen to this guy. He wouldn't be where he is unless he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
These people have to just be like some weirdos who want the kids to use a litter box at school. That's those people. Those people are just trying to, like, you know, make me doubt myself. I'll be okay. Yeah. Bro, I don't think kids should use litter boxes anyway. I don't think kids should go to school. I think they should be out in the wild where they belong, climbing trees and eating fruits and berries. And then we'll just go gather them in the winter for what's it called? Shearing. No one wants to do that to kids, but they won't listen to anybody who isn't on their social war team. Even when it's about the economy, which is like the most bipartisan shit that's happened in the last 40 years, which was NAFTA and the gutting of the middle class. and giving everything over to this corporate oligarchy that we currently find ourselves in. So this is the one spot where it should be bipartisan, that everybody's like, hey, leave our fucking trade the fuck alone, leave our businesses the fuck alone, leave our veterans the fuck alone. They've sacrificed it because they just don't want to be wrong.
Yeah,
and it's okay to be wrong, dog. It's all right.
I mean, yeah, the concessions that have been made is China's lowered the tariff to 10%, but it was less than that before, so it's not really a concession. And they're going to have a new consultation mechanism.
Idris Elba.
How's that going to help the American economy? I don't understand. And do you know what I think a lot of this is? I think it's homophobia.
How so?
Because working in a factory is seen as manly, right. And the actual jobs that gets America lots of money in the service industry, software programmers, people working in the arts, making movies, all that stuff, it's seen as a bit gay.
You think?
Yeah. I think it's all to do with homophobia. That like men don't feel like real men unless they're, I don't know, shelling shrimps in a fucking shrimp shelling fucking facility. or like riveting bits of metal together by pulling a lever. Because that's a real man's job.
But that's the thing. All of those real men's jobs are unionized labor.
Yes.
And they've been against free trade in the States since NAFTA. And we lost some car companies due to it. Like things changed because of the Democrats and the neocons wanting to have this just like borderless awesome thing. Like I believe in free trade, but I think there should be some, some concessions. I think there should be a lot more synergy. Like I think a lot of like cross country companies could be formed to really get things in a more philanthropic way. Like I feel like instead of just peeling everything we can out of the continent of Africa, I feel like we should totally just get into some, you're going to get more out of this than we do, but we're going to invest over here. Just the soft power kind of shit. You know what I mean? And I feel like if we did a decade of that, we'd have half the problems that we have right now. I feel like we'd have a much better idea about batteries and battling climate change. I feel like fossil fuels and clean water and all that. I feel like that stuff would have been a lot easier if we had done the boring work of building bridges and helping infrastructure in other places. Like we probably wouldn't have had the migrant waves coming up here if we actually put in some humanitarian work in the first place. Every one of these like construction minded contractor minded dudes understand you measure twice and cut once. This is none of that. This is just rolling.
Exactly.
This is rolling.
Well, it's turn up with a chainsaw, isn't it? Chain up to
it's rolling
with a chainsaw to a bonsai clipping ceremony.
It's rolling grenades down the bowling alley. Like, you might get your pens or the whole wall or just yourself. Like you don't know.
Do you know the most American thing I can think of is people putting dynamite in a lake to go fishing. That seems to me the most American thing.
That's a Russian thing.
I just imagine that's like Americans going, you going fishing, love? And they go, yeah, pick up these sticks of dynamite like Wile E. Coyote. This thing can blow up some fish. Questionable Absanity, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. Elon said, empathy is destroying our civilization. Civilization refers to bridges, buildings, roads, etc. Culture is the activities and beliefs of people. Culture is being destroyed by psychopathy. Questionable Absanity. I couldn't agree more. But what I find interesting about you mentioned NAFTA, and now that's been superseded. So that was a North American Free Trade Agreement between the US, Canada, and Mexico. That's been superseded by USMCA or something.
USMCA,
USMCA. Maybe that's what he thinks he's singing down at the YMCA.
Guaranteed.
Because of the UK-US trade deal, right, which allows the UK to export on a lower tariff, so it was 27.5%, now 10%. to export luxury vehicles. We're talking Aston Martins, Jaguars, Rolls Royces to America.
Reliant Robins.
To cars that only 1% of the American population can afford. And they're only going to have a 10% tariff on them for luxury things, right? For your everyday cars that are built by, built by an American company,
Ford,
but using the US Canada Mexico trade deal, the gearbox is made in Canada. The engine is made in Pittsburgh. The final bit is all put together in a factory in Tijuana, and then it's brought back over. And before this, there were no tariffs on that. Now, because of Trump, there's a 27.5% tariff on that car, even though it's owned by an American company. It's got American parts in it that were made in America. It's going to get tariffed.
So
meanwhile, they can buy a British luxury car that's got nothing to do with America whatsoever.
So you're buying a farm. You need a F-150. Your frame and your engine are going to come from Canada. Yes. All of the nuts and bolts and screws and probably some of like the little buttons and all that shit that's inside the truck, that's going to come from Mexico, from their parts factory. And then it's all going to get assembled in Detroit. And then you're going to pick it up in New York where you live. That's how it's always like since NAFTA, that's when they started moving those parts plants out of Detroit, out of Wisconsin had some, I think. And I think who else had some, but there was lots of like little plants around, because it doesn't have to be like Motor City and then there's like a big Dodge on the front of the building or something like that. It'll just be a regular ass looking warehouse amongst a bunch of other warehouses, and then they just make parts, and then they'll just only make screws, or they only make like a door handle or something like that. Just parts, little miscellaneous screws and shit like that. They found it cheaper to do in Mexico, and they figured out that all of the aluminum and stuff like that was coming from Canada anyway, so we might as well have them put it together. The main reason they can't fucking afford American labor is we don't provide health insurance as a human right to our people, so then the employer has to pick it up. That's most of the cost, is because we're sick all the time. But don't you worry, RFK is going to come in and cure everything by never testing anything ever again.
He's going to cure autism, apparently. And they put a woman who has, is it a woman who, a Surgeon General who has no medical training whatsoever? Is that
She's
right?
a podcaster.
Okay. So in America, you need to get like a qualification to be a taxi driver, right? You need to learn to drive.
Yep.
Hairdresser, you need some kind of qualification to be a hairdresser.
You got to have a license.
You got a license to cut hair.
Yep.
Just to explain to people in the UK what an F-150 is. So, like a Mini, not the new Mini, that's a bit bigger, but the old Mini, right? That was really, like, if you got in the back seat, your knees were up under your chin because the driver's seat was so close to it. So imagine a Mini, right? But it's kind of on massive wheels, or at least one set of massive wheels. And then at the back, there's like a metal tray. So instead of having like a van that you can lock the doors on and stop people nicking from what's inside it, it's just an empty tray, like the square of metal that you can, I guess, so put stuff in. But there's a lot of people called clean tray wankers who don't actually use anything. They don't use their pickup truck thing for anything. So you got this Mini, and on the back of it is welded on this sort of thing for putting stuff, I guess. But if you put any stuff on there, you got to keep an eye on your fucking vehicle all the time, because there's no way of locking it. You might be able to put a top hole in on top, or you can pay for an extra lid that goes on top of it.
The ungratefulness of this Brit. I apologize, stream. Chat, PC, Apostate Sisters, I apologize. How dare you insult the pickup truck? Okay,
a piece of shit.
Pickup trucks are great vehicles.
It's a Mini with a tray at the back that no one uses.
It's a great vehicle. You have no need for one, but some people do.
Literally 65% of it is wasted space. And if you're sitting in the back of the pickup truck, which is the row of seats behind, it's like a bush taxi in West Africa all over again.
I have a tree business, and I have to move these trees from A to B. Loading them into the pickup truck is way easier than me carrying them on a donkey cart or whatever you're proposing here. Like you can't put a tree in a van.
Vans. We have vans that are enclosed, so you put things in the van and you close the doors.
But we
and
don't.
It's enclosed.
But see, we don't have that.
Unless we're transporting a giraffe.
We don't have.
That might be something else.
We don't have that crunch for space that you guys have. So we usually just put our vehicles when we're done with them in a locked garage. So then you don't have to worry about that because the whole car is inside of a box, you see, that people can.
Oh, that's good. So you're out on the job and no one's going to rob from your pickup truck.
No.
I'm glad everyone's so honest over there because if it was over here, it'll get robbed.
Okay. Let me
tell you that now.
Well, this is because you guys are not as violent as we are. But let me ask you this, Graham. you see a brand new shiny drill in the bed of a pickup truck. But you know that there's 15 dudes with hammers right around the corner. Is it worth it? If they catch you, they will pummel you into
but I think most thieves don't think they're going to get caught. And if you're going past on a little bike, grab it, off you go.
And what do you leave in your tools and your thing for? If you need it on the job, then take it with you to where your work is. If you don't need it that day, then don't bring it.
But if you've got like 50 tools and you're taking them onto the job, you don't need all the tools at once.
Or most guys have a trailer that they do all their workshop in. You just drag a trailer with you with tools in it. No one does what you're saying that they do. No one buys their groceries, and then goes and watches a movie. And then while they were watching a movie, all their groceries are stolen out of it. You go home.
Yeah.
And you put it's used for transport, typically.
Yes.
So if you buy the
worst of all possible worlds. And the space inside is tiny. It's like being in a monster truck, but you're crushed into a tiny little space to try and...
What year did you get into a goddamn pickup truck? Have you seen pickup trucks recently?
Yeah.
They're ginormous.
Yeah. All of the taxis in Bocas del Toro are all Ford 150s.
What year?
This year. They're all brand spanking new. And I hate getting them because unless there's nobody else in the taxi, because it's a shared taxi situation. So I've got to sit in the back seat. I can't sit in the front. If I can sit in the front, it's fine. But if I have to sit in the back, there's nowhere to put my legs. I have to put them over my shoulders.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Worst design ever.
I can't believe.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer got to design a car.
Are you 7 foot tall?
No. It's just like being in the back of a Mini. And you know it. It's a crap idea. But it's been sold to you all your life, so you got to defend it.
I don't have to defend it. You're saying you don't fit inside the cab of a fucking pickup truck. I'm bigger than you. And yes, the fuck I do.
In the back seats. You're in the driving seat, you're fine. But if someone's sitting behind you.
Who the hell?
Unless they're a child.
Oh my God. Dexter.
Hey! Unless they're a tiny little cat. Hello, little cat. What's your cat's name?
This is Dexter. He's not supposed to be in here. Aren't you?
Hi, Dexter. How you doing?
He's a
named after the serial killer?
Yeah, he's a serial line stepper. What do you want?
Butcher of birds.
He would, if he could.
Questionable obscenity. Graham, I think you're wrong. Oh, no. I hate that. I hate being wrong. I've worked with some very manly gay lads on industrial and civil construction jobs, dangling hundreds of meters up in a harness. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That sounds like a good time. Thanks very much for the super chat. No, I'm not saying that these jobs aren't necessarily gay, because as we all know, the steel workers of America, when they do the song and dance routine in The Simpsons, yeah. But I'm talking about the perception of, we talk about this crisis of masculinity that people seem to be having at the moment. And they feel like developing video games or writing for a newspaper or doing something with finance or working in a bank is not masculine. There's no machismo in it. And so they go, oh, but actually manual work in a factory, that's manly. And it's just a weird way of seeing the world, to be honest with you. But why we don't make the most, and America doesn't make the most of the things that we're good at, the service industry stuff, and just go for that instead of going on and on and on. Like we've got to get industry back. We've got to start making things again. It's like, why? I don't make my own iPad, whatever. What are they called now? iPhones. I don't make my own iPhone. Someone else does in someone else's country. I don't care.
they don't work in jobs that can even do that. These are bartenders and servers making these. Largely ignore these people. And I'm sorry, but this whole, and I just watched the thing with the guy who does a million podcasts. Like, I think Pivot's one of them. I can't think of his name right now. George Connolly or Connell, something like that. Yeah. He's got all these shows and he does these talks and he's the young white man was left behind and da da da. Hey, try being black. Try being gay. Try being trans. Try shutting the fuck up, dude. Yeah. No one cares about your whinging and bitching. You're not mad at people on your same fucking tax bracket. You're mad at the same fucking people that everybody else is mad at. The same people who are cutting every single corner that they can so that they can buy the newest fifth yacht. You know?
Yeah. And Ori is sticking up for you as well. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat.
Thank you,
Bless
Ori.
you. Gesundheit. My uncle has a pickup. It's pretty useful for what he does, which is murdering prostitutes.
And you can't argue that it's not useful for that.
Rolling them up in carpet and then leaving them on the side of the
no. That's why you guys advocate for vans over there, so you can hide what you're doing. At least in America, we're out in the open with what it is in the back in the bed of our truck.
In America, people say in the chat, in America they'll just shoot you if you rob stuff. But here's the thing: drilling down into the numbers of crimes that are committed in America, there are more burglaries, there are more muggings, there are more car thefts that happen in America than happen over here statistically proportionately for the size of the population. There's more in America. So that idea that people would be scared off from doing that kind of shit, that's skag's not going to by itself, is it?
That's apples and oranges, isn't it though? Because your numbers don't say how many things were stolen out of the back of a pickup truck.
Carjacking.
I mean, a house.
We have more stabbings. We have more stabbings over here. Knifeys. Not much more.
A house can hardly run away if it's being robbed. So I don't think that's how we'll have banks from now on. They'll just be a train, and you have to just go to the station and get your money out.
Yeah. Ori says he's a gardener. Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much for the super chat. And yes, I guess a pickup truck would be okay if you're a gardener. But then again, I mean, if you had a van, you could just put a trailer on the back of the van, an open trailer. I just think it's.
You ever driven a trailer?
Yes.
You ever driven a trailer up a hill?
Yeah.
In the mud?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, just get a fucking pickup.
Forward's not the problem, Mikey. It's maneuvering. It's trying to go back and do a 3-point turn.
That's the thing, because you're gonna have to pull that. You're gonna have to back that trailer onto wherever you want to get, as opposed to pull right up fucking next to it. You got a shovel in the back. You fucking throw that shovel into the pile. Fucking put the liner in there, and then you get to work. It's easier to have no top on it. It's supposed to be.
If it's raining, all your stuff will get wet, or you put a tarp over it, and that defeats the whole.
You don't leave stuff in there. It's not your fucking cubby hole.
You take it from A to B. You can't dodge the raindrops, Mikey.
No,
it'll get wet.
I'm saying you keep leaving it like people just leave all these tools, and if you do leave anything in there, you can have a locked toolbox that's built into the truck bed that they cannot remove without, like, I don't know, a welding art.
A crowbar. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta. It's like in the frame. Like, you can. Good luck stealing that.
Do you say crowbar? Do you say tire iron? For what I say crowbar, or do you say crowbar as well?
Those are two. We say those words, but those are two different items.
Okay, what's a tire iron? Is that? I thought that was just a crowbar.
What you use to change a tire? It's got like the little lugs on it.
Oh, it's got a lug on one side and then the other side. Okay, yeah.
But you gotta tune a guy up with the tire iron.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard someone getting, like in a mafia film, someone getting beaten to death with a tire iron. And I just assumed it was a crowbar. Fair enough. Right. We need to talk. Like we need to talk about Trump's Middle East tour that he is going on. So he's going to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates for high stakes meetings with a series of authoritarian regimes. He's hoping to secure billions in deals from Saudi investment. His family already have, by the way.
Did he say
the amount of money that his family's? No, it's for him. It's for him.
None of this is to benefit the states at all. Like,
no, it's money and influence, and Maybe do you remember that picture of him with the
globe,
the globe, the glowing
the
orb,
yeah,
the planeteer. That was just but the amount that the Trump family have made has just been off. It's obscene. It's actively obscene.
And
since Trump got re-elected, they've made billions. His family have made billions.
And doing what? Pray tell.
Well, there was a load of investment that's come from Saudi. Also, the whole crypto coin thing. Don't forget, Melania did a crypto coin.
Yep.
She's only been in the White House for 14 days, apparently, since he got elected.
She's due back to Russia. That contract is over.
Do you know what else has happened with her? She got $40 million, or Trump got $40 million from Jeff Bezos, so Amazon could do a documentary about her life. $40 million. I just want to put that into context. Planet Earth, the series with David Attenborough, where they spent 7 years living in a box on top of a mountain trying to get a picture of a snow lynx or something. That was $25 million.
We had to sit out in the woods for 47 days to catch this hummingbird fart. And the condensation...
trekking through the jungles of Papua New Guinea for years on end to get that one shot of the bowerbird making its little nest or making its little stage, to impress the missus. 40 million. So that was 25 million for all those amazing 4K drone footage, pink dolphins in the Amazon. 25 million. And for this documentary about a woman who married a bloke, 40 million.
Just imagine how many people are not going to watch this. We're talking hundreds of millions of people will never, ever watch this piece of shit. No one is going to. I wonder how many ratings it will even get. It'll probably get a 2-star rating, but it's only going to have 50 ratings. No one is going to watch this thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that money could have went straight to Rings of Power.
I was thinking that myself. I don't think throwing more money at Rings of Power would make Rings of Power any better now. It's too far down. Too far gone.
Couldn't hurt. Give me a spin-off show for $25 million. I want just what's going on in the Dwarf City because they're my favorite.
Yeah, that'll do.
They're my favorite.
I honestly couldn't give a shit about anything else that's going on, especially Numenor. Why they've integrated that into the story. In the original story, in the appendices, The Lord of the Rings, Sauron, he's pissing around making the Rings of Power, but that takes centuries. And then he spends 500 bloody years in Numenor afterwards. So we could have him making the Rings of Power, and then he goes over to Numenor. So they didn't have to introduce Numenor until season 3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
We may not get there. So we're gonna tell it this way. One angry pagan in the chat says a myrrh leopard, not snow lynx. LOL Graham.
A Mia leopard.
A myrrh. AMUR.
A Mia leopard.
Myrrh.
Is that a cat? No, it's a meerkat. It's just announced that Trump may turn up at peace talks between Putin and Zelensky. Fuck. Oh, do you know what, Zelensky?
Don't go.
Do it, couldn't he?
Don't go. I'm not going to that meeting.
If he did go,
going 40 miles within that meeting.
His last words could be surprise, motherfuckers.
Yo, and didn't they say Qatar was funding Hamas, and now you're just gonna get in a plane from your enemy? All right, brother.
Well,
all right.
Well,
yeah. No, I'll Uber. I do not want to ride in that. No, thank you. You get in there all by your damn self. Have fun.
Yeah, and Fat Panda Cat is 1979, great year, saying basically a documentary on sex trafficking if she was ever honest with herself, talking about Melania Trump. Indeed, yes. We hate all these immigrants except for my wife and my best mate Elon. And one thing I just want to talk about before we go as well is Drill Baby Drill. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
We're doing a lot of it. It's everywhere, as you can see. I'm drilling right now.
I believe that Trump's tariff wars, his trade wars, are basically tanking the U.S. oil industry. And oil prices are plummeting. leading to shrinking U.S. oil output for next year. And his oil promises versus reality. Oil production stalling.
We'll so what we'll do is we'll make the dollar worth nothing. Therefore, the gas prices will be cheaper.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, hang on. No, that doesn't work unless especially if you're buying oil from another country,
right,
whose Canadian dollar perhaps is worth more than yours.
So it's gonna take more of our dollars if we do it. Like, he's dumb. Like, I keep trying to tell y'all, he's dumb. All of his ideas are bad. I'm not a hater. He's dumb. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm a hater. Can't stand him. I don't want him around anymore.
I'm just being objective. Like, I don't have to like people for them to be like, you know what I'm saying, in power or in office for me to like understand that they're going to make some decisions that I don't necessarily agree with. I can, you know what I mean? I'm a team player. I don't have to be in charge of everything. My team doesn't have to win all the time. But bro, this is all stupid. Like, this is all stupid ass middle school dumb motherfucker shit. Like, you should know better by now. And y'all should have learned from the first time that he doesn't learn. Like, that's the one thing that he is completely incapable of, is learning. He can't figure out new shit. His brain is too old. It's too scrambled eggs. It's just, there's nothing going on. He can't learn new scrambled shit. Eggs.
Yeah. But yeah, with the Middle East tour is interesting because he's not going to Israel. Have Israel gone too far now? They're starving the people of Gaza
as we speak.
They haven't allowed any humanitarian aid or food or water to cross the border for weeks now.
Well, Trump's using his last little weight. He talked to Hamas and got one of the Israeli American people released. I think he got released this morning.
Is that what he's claiming?
Yeah. I think it's confirmed. But either way, this is the no war that you guys wanted. Just keep shoveling billions and billions of taxpayer dollars into a place that apparently has the best military and the best inventions and the best economy and the best everything, but they need hundreds of billions of dollars of my money every year. Sounds like a grift, if you ask me. Sounds like they're completely helpless until we get paid. You know what I mean? Or they're completely capable and they're the strongest military that the world has ever seen until payday comes for us, and then they come around begging for money again. So if they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and if they want to, genocide an entire people, I don't understand why I have to pay for it. And I don't understand why we're not stopping it.
Because it's not in America's interest to stop it.
Sure it is. I would argue that it's directly in America's interest to stop Israel.
Well, maybe it's not in Trump's interest then.
It's directly.
Why would you argue it's in America's interest to stop these fucking nutters?
Because Israel is a destabilizing force that is completely out of control, that they are not controlling. They are the break in case of emergency in case Israel went too far, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah,
they're just handing them more shit. And like, this is an unfortunate stream of presidents we've had with Trump, Biden, Trump, because they've all just been like, no, I love Israel the most. No, I love it. Meanwhile, the Palestinian and Gazan people are bearing the brunt of that. And that destabilizes the region. It's got the Houthis involved. It's got Hezbollah involved. It's got all of these other actors involved who have patently stated the only reason we're doing this is to stop what's going on in Gaza.
Yep.
Well, then maybe just don't do that one thing that they're saying, and then maybe they'll stop doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, this could have been done by now.
But from the point of view of the ghouls making all the money out of this, what do they fucking care? The third biggest arms importer of American arms in the world is Saudi Arabia. The fourth is Qatar. The sixth is the UAE. And the ninth is Israel. They can sell arms to both sides. Bahrain is in like the top 12. Like that they destabilize the region. They've set themselves up to supply Israel with all the rockets and bombs and tanks and armaments and jet planes that they need, and also Saudi Arabia and also Bahrain and Qatar. And this is what America and the UK, we can't be innocent of this. We did in the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s. We supplied both sides. So morally, it's repugnant, but I don't really see how it's not in America's interest to be as horrible as possible and make as much money as possible.
And because it makes
clown in charge.
Because there's 350 million of us, and we like to travel. For one, it makes Americans abroad a lot less safe, and it's an excellent recruiting tool for more terrorist attacks.
Yep.
Like bullying people is not good. It's not good for the victim, and it's not good for the bully themselves. It's not good to think it's normal to oppress.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Like you shouldn't get used to that. Like, this is kind of a side subject, but like me and my wife have some of the stupidest fights that any couple could possibly have, because we always fight about the same thing. And it's because one of us is trying to be nice to the other one, and the other one won't let them. So then we get into like these polite battles, and then it's like, well, I'm doing that so that you don't have to do that.
My problem is I'm just too nice.
well, I was trying to do this, but then you wouldn't say, so just tell me what you want to do, and then I can just do it. So when you boil all that, when you pull all the spaghetti out of there and you get it all out of the way, essentially what's happening is we're both trying to be nice at the same time in opposite ways. Mm-hmm. So we end up having these disagreements. So then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like this is right for me to let you do this, but I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna monopolize this goodwill feeling that I have. I'm a bit far afield here. I lost my original point, but I'll spin this into something else useful about me and my wife fighting all the time. What do we always fight about? It's always being nice.
You always fight about being too nice.
Yeah, and it's always like this miscommunication.
You're like, after you. No, after you. No, after you, motherfucker.
That's when I sweep kick her and I shove her into the wall. I said after you.
After you. If that's what you're saying, I agree with you.
Tackle her through a plate of gas. No, you first. Just go shove her through there. It'll come to me in a minute. But as far as about treating people a certain way, yes, I found it. Because I know I have a certain kind of personality, I make sure that she stands up to me, and I make sure that I apologize all of the time, because it is important for her to understand that she can argue with me without me trying to use my size or anything like that against her in an argument. She can correct me whenever she wants to, and vice versa. Like, you need to be able to get to a level where you trust your partner enough to correct you, so that when their correction comes in, you turn whatever the hell you were doing in your brain off, and you have to stop and listen to that. We do not have that relationship with anybody anymore. Like, it just doesn't exist. It is just straight up, like, everyone is just appeasing us. Everyone's just like, you know what I'm saying, patting us on the head. Like, no one loves us enough to tell us to stop. And that's the problem. We've upset everybody to the point where now,
by we, you don't mean you and your wife, you mean America.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's kind of where we're at, where there are some of us who are like drastically trying to pull the emergency brake here, but they're not listening to us anymore. And
I'm just hoping that whatever comes after Trump, and Trump will not be around forever, one way or another, he is going to cark it at some point, builds back better. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, it'll be different.
But there's no one waiting in the wings to take over from Trump. No one. No one's got his force of personality. Thank God.
I mean, I still don't understand, like, why they just don't lock him up. Like, these Republicans are so afraid of him. I'm like, bro, he's confessed to, like, mad shit. You guys could just, like, put him in jail forever off of just the shit he said, like, on a mic, on a video camera. Like, just use that, and then you don't have to be afraid of them anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if they just think like the American people, like they just love them. So if I go against them, then they'll think I'm a Democrat or something like that. I'm like, look, you put that motherfucker in jail and you get their fucking bills under control. You say whatever you want. Like, people just want to turn back off. You know, like sports is all weird now. Like they just want to go back to having some regular ass work schedule, to be pissed off about their work schedule, and to hang out with their friends on the weekends complaining about their work schedule. That's about it. Yeah. That's all they want. And that's all you had to give them, and they would have bent over backwards for you. They would have brought you the moon. But they can't fit. People just decided to be greedy instead. But that has a cost as well.
Greed is easy. It's lazy. It's a lazy option, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lazy option. Doing the right thing is hard, and it's not particularly lucrative. I got a great comment here from Anne. The best way to avoid fighting with one spouse is to divorce the fecker. In my admittedly limited experience. Couldn't agree more. Chris C says, can I point out the Americans killed several British troops in friendly fire incidents? How many Americans did we kill in friendly fire? A big fat 0. Which is very true. The American military is like, wherever it goes in the world, it will try and crack open a walnut with a sledgehammer, because that's the way it seems to operate. And I am a bit amazed at how slapdash a lot of the American, not I guess the higher ups know what they're doing, but a lot of the sort of squaddies, as we'll call them over here, don't seem to have the same. I mean, this is from my limited experience, friends in the army, in the British Army, and meeting people in the American Army and Navy. They're a bit more slapdash in the American. They're like, oh, that'll do. And the thing is, if you don't get it absolutely right in a military situation, you can end up killing your allies. It is a bit of a life and death situation. Greg, thank you very much for the $5. When they rebuild it, it needs to be called reconstruction.
It went great last time. We had reconstruction.
Yeah.
And that's probably why a lot of this this unabashed racism is coming from, because the Confederates are still salty. They've been licking their wounds for 100 years. They're still mad.
Yes.
They still think that, well, if y'all didn't cheat, you know, like the same old fucking election denial kind of delusion that they put themselves in. But they're figuring it out. We're going to talk about it on the Headliners tomorrow. They are mulching tomato crops in southern Florida right now.
Wow.
No one to pick them, and they can't compete with the price. So they're just hiring a mower to just run over all the crops, wasting it.
What a time to be alive.
What was it? Victory Day?
These empty shells were brought to you by racism.
Yep.
And its friend, xenophobia. Kieran, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. I fear what comes after Trump. The Dreyfus affair divided France for 40 years. It reminds me of Trumpism. But at the same time, was it Emile Zola who spoke at the Dreyfus affair? It was in France at the turn of the 20th century. There was a Jewish guy who was accused of doing something that he didn't do, and a lot of the underlying anti-Semitism in France at the time came out about it. Anyway, but yeah, I think might be a period of instability. I think there probably definitely will be a period of instability once Trump is gone. But what I'm saying is the Republicans, whatever replaces the Republican Party, because I think the end of Trump will be the end of the Republicans as well. Thankfully, someone like Trump only comes along once in a generation.
I mean,
I don't think anyone is waiting in the wings. Like who could be the next Trump?
No, they're so all in on him. That's why they're over here printing out 2028 merch. You know what I mean? Like, they really think like, oh, we're just gonna ride this forever. It's gonna be the best for. No, it's not. No, it's not. And all you little assholes running around doing fucking committing illegal acts in Trump's name, statute of limitations, bitch. All we got to do is survive, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get your hits in and this is going to hurt and we're going to have to rebuild a whole bunch of shit. But guess what? If we're still standing, you're fucked.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it at that because I need to go clear up after dinner. Oh God, it's a pain being domesticated. Leapshin, I've got Asperger's and they said I have an organic personality disorder, whatever the fuck that is. An organic personality disorder. That's an odd thing to say, isn't it? An organic. So I suppose all personality disorders are organic. Is ADHD a personality disorder?
Could be.
Probably. I don't know. We're all on the spectrum here. It's all right. Anyway, I'll be back in the morning.
Oh, hold on.
9
Here
o'clock.
it is. OPD is a mental disorder caused by a physical brain problem, leading to changes in behavior and personality. So instead of a chemical thing, it's like a structural, physical thing. That is
right,
different.
okay. That's interesting. I've learned something today.
You've taught us something. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, and Ori's just dropped a £10 super chat in. Thank you. I was just about to wrap up.
And Ori's a
Thank you for
member over
interrupting. A big worry, I think, if Trump does leave in 4 years, is that the Dems learn nothing. The rot deepens, the cycle repeats later down the line with someone who will finish the job.
See, that's the thing.
Trump's going to go a long way to try and finish the job himself.
And that's the thing. Just as the Republicans are going to have a reform, the Democrats are done, like dead in the water. Like Tim Walz is damn near about to run independent. JB Pritzker, my governor, is cleaning it up out there. So there are voices on like the progressive side of things. No one gives a shit what happens to the Republican or the Democratic Party establishments at all. Like, we don't care what happens to them. We have to take care of us. They were given a position of trust to ensure that the democracy withstood all of the shit, and both of them failed in such magnificent fashions that it hasn't even been calculated yet. Like, we don't even know how many illegal acts he's up to at this point.
Yeah.
So, whatever ticket wins, the Republican or Democrat, it will not be the same ilk as the parties that we've previously seen. It's just not going to happen. And like, anyone who's MAGA is losing. Like, it's not like everyone is like the referendum is now on the entire status quo because both sides have been shown to be the same thing.
But here's the issue. If it ping pongs between the far left and the far right, so we've got Trump now, and as a response to that, leftists rise up, and we get a leftist government, which is very, very left wing, which is very different for America, I guess. Then when whatever replaces the Republican Party, which is even more right wing than what the Republicans are today, gets in, they're just going to reverse everything that they've done. Do you think that there might be some more mileage in aiming for the center ground rather than aiming to go more harder in one direction or the other?
Hell no. Because you even said it yourself. Our left is your center.
Yes.
People ain't asking for crazy shit, and it's starting to look less and less crazy every day, especially when, I'm going to make sure all the prescription... Oh, let me do his voice. All the prescription drugs are going to be so cheap. You're going to be saving money savings all over you. Like, that's not going to happen. And there's only so many times you can have that never happen before people are like, dude, he's lying. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, when that fucking check doesn't come in, it's not going to be, I support you no matter what. It's going to be like, fuck that bitch. Like, it's going to get, like, they're going to turn. Like, they're doubting him now. The approval ratings are down, so they're doubting him now. But, I mean, they loved Colin Kaepernick. And they was burning them jerseys. They loved Bud Light. They was shooting him with AR-15. These people are fickle. And if you do not provide what they desire, you will be replaced. Period.
The Fickle Republican. That sounds like a book from the Victorian era. Have you read The Fickle Republican? But yeah, the bloody nightmare. All right, well, we can get into it more on Friday night for the Friday Night Social, if you'll be joining us for that, Mikey. Otherwise, have you got any bin shows coming up this week that I might be interested in gagging in on?
You should definitely watch tomorrow, because I got a lot of stuff about the trade that I want to show. And we got some drama. There's some drama afoot in the personalities department, so we're going to cover some of that stuff too. Hassan Piker got detained by ICE agents on his way back home. The biggest left-wing Twitch streamer. He's the nephew of Cenk Uygur from TYT. He was detained by ICE on his way home from France, so we're going to cover that as well.
Shit. Okay. What time will that be?
11 Central, which is 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Yeah,
what,
5 p.m.
Billy, what time
BST.
is it for you guys? Anytime, Billy. We're all waiting on you, Billy.
So yeah, if you'd like to follow Mikey on the
Not
Bin Podcast
particularly.
Network, just click on the link that's in the title of this video, and you can get there. You can get there.
I think you guys are tagged as well. So if you're over here
fantastic.
and you're not from Politics Social, which would be cool and different, also click down there and sub as well.
Hi, Politics Social.
We're trying to help out Graham's very small channel.
Doing what we can. Doing what we can. All right, Mikey, have a great night. Thank you very much for coming on. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the comments, and thank you for the super chats. Really, really appreciate them. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye.
And for all of you Binsters out there, let me get a couple soundboards in here.
Not particularly. I love Tesla.
I love Tesla. And then let's do one more. Oh, where's my yeah.
I don't like Elon Musk. I'ma say it 50,000 times.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Sorry I'm not a ball of energy. I feel like absolute dog ass. But thanks for hanging out. Ori, thanks for becoming a member and subscribing. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.